You're listening to Ride Along, EMT School. I'm Mike.
And I'm Max. We're two students navigating EMT school, bringing you along week by week.
And I'm Jonathan, a paramedic bringing real-world perspective.
Join us as we share the lessons, challenges, and stories from EMT school, and hear insights from those already living the EMS life. Welcome to the Ride Along. Oh, the music just cut out all sudden, like. But hey, we're here. We've got a bonus episode for you. Welcome, everybody, to the Ride Along EMT School podcast and our first bonus interview episode with a good friend of mine who I made a couple weeks ago. Steve, would you mind introducing yourself?
Yeah, hey guys, I'm Steve Norman. I am with Indianapolis EMS in Indianapolis, Indiana, and I met Mike whenever we did some EMS World Expo stuff together.
Yes. So I had the absolute pleasure of meeting Steve at now I always mess up the name of the class that you put on. It was the Complex Coordinated Terror Attack Workshop. Right?
Yeah, you got it.
Okay. So this thing was awesome. If you want some details on it, I went into a bunch of them during the AAR bonus episode I did recently here on the podcast. So you should definitely go check that out. I also said probably some very nice things about Steven, hence why I managed to get him onto the podcast. You got to butter people up to make sure they get in front of the camera. No.
Oh, yeah. The buttering always makes it better.
Oh, yeah. It's like toast. Butter makes
Absolutely.
it better. But no, thank you for coming on. It was great to meet you out there and to spend the day learning from you. And then actually it was great because I didn't really know anybody out in Indianapolis for that event. And it was kind of like all right, I'll go out there for a week and I'll try and, find my way around and have like that class. I think it was like day 2. It was like Tuesday, I think. And I was like, oh, this is awesome. This is everything I was hoping to kind of find here at EMS World Expo. And not just that, but I got to meet like all of the amazing team that helped put on that workshop, like you and Shane and the medical direction team over at Indianapolis EMS, Dr. Lau, and like all the students that were there. So it was really great to see like all of these people that were like truly ambassadors for Indianapolis. So I left with like this huge, like, warm part of my heart for that city.
Well, good. Maybe at some point in time we can get you to come over here with us.
Oh, I'll be back for sure. No doubt. But first off, what I like to do, I think on some podcasts it's a bit of a tradition, a gift giving tradition a thank you for coming onto the podcast. So as soon as you send me your address, I have a gift for you that'll be coming your way. We're gonna be sending you one of these bad boys right here.
Oh yeah.
Everybody in EMS and like emergency service love shirts. Yeah, right? You got to get a shirt from like every firehouse you go to. So we made these like firehouse t-shirts. So we have official ride along t-shirt for you. Mine says student on it because I'm still an EMT student, but yours will say paramedic on it because that is your current role, right?
Absolutely.
So I just wanted that'll be in the mail. I would love to hand it to you in person, but Indianapolis from Pennsylvania is a little bit of a drive, so I wasn't going to just pop over today with it.
You never know.
So, but yes, I'll be sending that, and hopefully you'll be able to show it off to all your friends and like brag that you're on a podcast.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. It's going to be the greatest thing ever.
But yeah, so, okay. So you're in Indianapolis. You obviously have a passion for training. That's where I got to meet you in this kind of, in this environment. Would you mind kind of just giving an overview of what your current role is in EMS?
So for what I do now is I am a district medic, which for those of you that don't know, it's essentially a fly car paramedic. If you came to my class on Friday of EMS World, you would know a little bit more, but you know, some people decided to dip out and go home early.
I actually did not know it was happening, or I would have been there.
Uh-huh. Yeah, sure. But so what we did is we discovered a lot about our city and figured out where the more critical aspects of the city was and changed a little bit of our model. But that's what I do. And I work night shift. So I work 7 p.m. to 7 a.m. on a fly car. And then I kind of do some training on the side. I'm also an FTO and a preceptor. So I get medic students and new recruits and I do a lot of training.
That's awesome. I think that's, a very common thread and something that I think a lot of people in the EMS world have such a passion about. And the people that I've tended to start gravitating towards are the ones that really care about A, training and progression, but B, like also like I felt it as soon as I got into that class and started chatting with you that day, was hearing that kind of like, hey, you're new, like come with me, like that mentorship aspect, the preceptorship, like that is huge. And I think it's so integral to what we do.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely it is. I mean, we can't get better as a provider unless we have someone to help us show us the way. And without someone to give you that under the wing aspect, we're never going to advance or be better providers, no matter what.
Yeah.
We'll just be stuck in the old age of, I'm going to do this because this is what I was taught, not looking at something else and figuring it out.
Exactly. And that's truly like that process is also echoed in like the science of medicine, where it's like we have to be progressing, right? We have to look at data. We have to be pushing forward, or else it just stays in the dark ages. And like I think it echoes with how we kind of always are trying to make sure that we're teaching new people, and I felt that immensely. So thank you for that, by the way, for kind of creating that environment at that workshop. It resonated with me, and it was the thing that probably stuck with me most from that week.
Absolutely. And all I've heard was good things about it. So I think we did a pretty good job with it. At least I hope so.
Well, you've only heard good things about it because you're so intimidating, and nobody wants to say anything bad to you.
Yeah, I am 6'7", so when I stand next to you, everybody looks like a little midget, but it's okay.
Well, it's not often that I get to stand next to somebody and go, "Hey, I feel not as tall as this guy," which is usually how I feel like I'm a giant amongst all the little people. And I was like, "Hey, this guy stands out in a crowd more than I do."
Oh yeah. Anytime I get back in my vehicle after a call, is if I have someone shorter than me driving the car, it takes me 5 minutes to move my seat back to actually be able to fit in the car.
Which I'm sure isn't annoying at all when you're trading back and forth with people in the ambulance or different fly cars throughout the day.
No, never.
Especially
just a minor inconvenience.
Yeah. Oh, I would imagine there's been a time or two where you've been like in a rush to jump back in the car, and all of a sudden your knees are up in your chest.
Yeah. Actually, funny story is I ended up taking our medical director in with me one time for a call. I don't even remember what it was. And we stopped at the hospital, dropped that patient off. And then another one came out like 2 or 3 blocks away, and he was riding with me. So he turned around and just jumped in the driver's seat of my car and drove off almost without me. And I had a student that day too. So we shoved my poor student in the back seat. I'm in the front seat with my knees touching my elbows. Like, okay, cool. This is what we're doing. Folded
in half.
Essentially. For those that are old enough, like you and I, the old police academy with Hightower.
Oh, yes.
Small car.
And he sat in the back seat of what was it, Gremlin or something like that? He rips the front seat
like that. Yeah, that's my typical day. Just rip the front seat out, sit in the back seat. It's fine.
I just wish I could be as strong as that dude. Like he like offhanded reached into the car, ripped out the front seat, and tossed it on the ground. Wow, that's a total like random recall in my brain. Like I can see that scene in my. I loved Police Academy growing up.
Yeah.
Okay. Total segue, or not segue. Side convo. If Police Academy is the best. In my opinion, the best police related movie of all time. I mean, there's so many to choose from. It's almost hard, right? Like there's just so many
Yeah.
police movies or like things police related in popular culture, TVs, movies. What's the best one for EMS?
It's got to be the new Code 3. Rainn Wilson did phenomenal with that, man.
Yes.
And it is accurate.
Isn't it?
Yeah.
It's scary. Like, okay, so I've only been in this for a few months, right? Like since August, and now it's November. And like, even in stories, like everything in that movie, I had heard from a provider talking about the things they see most in the field. So they obviously had a team of tech experts that were like,
Oh,
no,
absolutely.
you need to, this is what you need to have in this movie. And then they had
Absolutely.
they had great writers that probably went, okay, and now we can probably figure out how to make that funny. Although it was a funny movie, but also shockingly kind of like real.
Oh, yeah. It is 100% accurate on what we would see on a day-to-day basis. Absolutely.
Like,
Shout out to Dwight from Office.
man, that movie was so like gritty, funny, and real. And like you could just feel his exasperation of being like this burnt out, like 20-year paramedic.
Yeah. Yeah. And age 60 years in that 20.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Mindful that he's only 38 years old, but it's fine.
Yeah. Well, it's it's people don't necessarily look young in this industry for long.
No.
Although it is very young centric. Like at EMS World Expo, just seeing all of the recruits walking around and like seeing all the people that I'm chatting with lately and kind of going through class with, like they are young, which I mean is interesting to see people kind of going into a different career path for what they were doing before. But it's also kind of refreshing to see that there is a lot of new blood, a new generation of people coming into this. And I'm kind of like in that new generation, even though I'm older, but like, it seems like it's a young person's game.
Yeah, it is. It is. And that's, to me, that's refreshing to see is like some people are realizing that and others are still trying to figure out life. It took me until I was almost 30 to figure out what I want to do with my life. And here I am now, almost 40.
Yeah. Can you repeat that last thing you just said? We're breaking up on the connection a little bit.
So yeah, seeing that younger generation's like really refreshing to try to figure out what they want to do with their life. Like I was almost 30 when I got into this, and that was 10 years ago where I figured out what I really truly wanted to do with my life.
Oh yeah. Like I am so envious of people who are in their 20s and have a kind of, direction I had a career. I kind of went down a path for a long time and went to college and did that. But, seeing them and go, hey, I want to get into this lifestyle, this career, this role where I'm out helping people. I wish I had done this 20 years ago, like truly do. But that's actually a good segue. Like so you say you only got into EMS about 10 years ago?
Yeah. And 2015 actually was when I was certified as an EMT.
Really? I would have thought you've been doing it for forever.
No, 2015. It actually, I guess in a way I kind of was always destined to it. You know how people always have this, I'm destined to do this type of situation in my life. But as a younger person, when I was 13, I was diagnosed as a type 1 diabetic. So I had to grow up really, really fast and learn some medicine. And then I got involved with a camp as well. It's a summer camp for kids who are type 1 diabetic. And I've been doing that for 23 years now. So work with nurses and medics and doctors and EMTs and all of them for that camp, and kind of strayed away from that for a little while. And I worked for another company that did event staffing, and I sat beside a guy in our command center who was a paramedic back home in West Virginia. You actually met him. You probably remember him, Pat Cornell.
Oh yeah.
That was at the conference.
Yeah.
Yeah. Pat's actually the reason that I'm in EMS. It's him.
Oh,
we sat
really?
beside each other for years and years doing WVU football. And one day he was like, you want to do a ride out? And I said, yeah, sure. Why not? And that that's when it started.
No kidding. Well, it's it makes total sense to me, because in this world, it seems like like most of the people I've talked to have somebody in their life that gave them the nudge, that are like,
Mm-hmm.
hey, have you considered doing this? And
Yeah.
I have some of those people in my life. It took a few nudges, but there's a few that I could definitely point to be like, all right, I keep hearing this same thing over and over again. Like, have you considered going to become an EMT? And eventually, I think we start to listen. we realize,
Yeah.
let me try this thing.
Yeah, let's give it a shot, see what happens.
So
Pat did it.
Yeah. So Pat's the guy. I'm glad I got to
Pat
meet
is the
him.
guy.
So when you joined EMS, did you go EMT first or EMR?
Yeah, I was EMT first.
Okay.
The agency that I ended up working for back home used to be one of the top in the state. So there was a wait list to get on with them.
Oh,
And it took me 2 years to get hired. So I continued to do my event staff job for the 2 years and would just play around every so often as an EMT.
okay. So when you went through EMT school, that was back home in West Virginia, right?
Yeah, it was in West Virginia.
Okay.
Like I said, I didn't practice for 2 years. I recerted, and on the day that my new recertification came in was the day that I got hired on.
Gotcha.
And so it took me 2 years to get hired on, and stayed another. Let's see, that was 2017. So in 2019 is when I took my paramedic.
Well, okay. So you went full progression to paramedic while in West Virginia as well.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Awesome. So now correct me if I'm off base here, because I think when most people think of West Virginia, they think more rural than urban, right?
Oh yeah.
I mean, that's kind of West Virginia's deal. Like, they're like, oh, you like open spaces and, hollers and hills and all the, the kind of rural aspects. Come to West Virginia, right? So
you like trees and pollen and sneezing. Yeah, that's pretty much it.
trees, pollen, and sneezing. It's the West Virginia motto.
Absolutely.
Well, so did you grow up in a more rural area with like less access to like higher level hospital care? Was it like a farther distances, or were you more in close to civilization, if we call it?
No, I lived in one of the bigger cities of West Virginia, but literally in the middle of the state is where I was. And the closest higher level was at a minimum of an hour and 15 minutes away.
Really?
The hospital in our city was basically a Band-Aid station.
Okay.
And then anything that was bad enough, they'd fly out or transport by ambulance to another hospital.
Gotcha. So was that like, how does that work in that type of, so is it basically like, if you're running an ambulance, is pretty much everything going to that hospital and then flying out of there? Or was it more like, did you have to get introduced and familiar with like calling in for flight medics or like life flights?
So I never worked for that system.
Okay.
When I got into EMS, I worked in Morgantown, West Virginia. So that's the college town, the big college town of the state.
Oh, okay. Yep.
Yeah. So for when I started working, I had the level 1 trauma centers, the level 2s, like the cath lab, everything was there. But we encompassed the entire county. So from one end to the other was an hour and 15-minute drive by ambulance if you were running lights.
Wow.
I'd do a 45-minute transport with a critical patient all the time. It never changed. So, I had both that urban, especially if I'm downtown where, we're college kids. We get drunk. We do stupid things.
Sure.
It is what it is. 5-minute drive to the hospital, let them sober up and go home. But you get to the ones that are in the outsides of the county and those little outer people, and they don't take care of themselves sometimes. So they call, they're sick.
Yeah.
And you got to do things, but you got to realize that I got to do things to keep this person for 45 minutes. So the rural aspect is a lot more fun at times because it uses a lot more critical thinking.
Yeah. Now, were you doing that as an ALS provider, or was that more BLS?
I did it as a BLS and an ALS provider.
Okay.
I did it for both.
How terrifying is it to be in a like hour long, distance away from a hospital, or 45 minutes, whatever the longest kind of run was, and not have like a medic nearby? Because we're like flush with medics in my part of the country. Like we're in Eastern Pennsylvania. Like every truck ever is all ALS all the time. Like it's one of the things I actually think that I'm trying to actually work around to see if I can find a BLS agency so I can kind of like have some experience without training wheels. But
Right.
the idea of being so far away and like maybe needing to link up and kind of pull in ALS or like maybe find it on the way, or, hey, you know what, we may have that 45-minute run where we have to keep this patient alive. Like that's crazy to me.
Oh yeah. And it is absolutely terrifying at times because you can just see the progression and you go, oh crap. Shit, what do I do? It's one of those moments and you've got to buckle down and figure it out. But that's where that critical thinking comes into play. And you pull out things. You're in EMT school. When I was in medic school, you pull out those things. You get those instructors that say some little tidbit, and it lives rent free in your brain, and it just comes back out at those random moments. And you're like, I know this. I remember this. This is what we do, and then that really helps that situation out.
Yeah. Like it's like having I think there's like a cognitive term for it, like an anchor. Like something that you can hold on to, that you're like, hey, let me center myself and find that thing. Okay, I'm good. And then you know how to keep stepping off from there to get on to the next thing and the next thing.
Yeah.
I'm slowly getting to the point where I'm finding those for me. So it's really, I love this phase of like taking on a very large kind of new discipline, right? Because you start getting into something, you're like, sometimes you feel lost. Like the first time they had me start doing like a mock patient contact where it's like, okay, start from the very start till the very end. I want you to progress through this thing on your own. Think through primary assessment, secondary assessment, all the way through to interventions and the hospital call. And the first time I did it, I walked in and it was like, okay, BSI, scene is safe. What do I do? And I knew in my brain there's things floating around like I could do this, but I'm like, I just don't know what that thing is to center me and find the next thing. But yeah, that is a challenge that like that kind of remote or more rural aspect of EMS that I'm like, it's fascinating because it's a total part of the country that I don't live in, but it works and people make it work.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. We make it work and we do what we need to do. I will say the biggest thing that lives that rent free in my brain is one of my instructors looked at me one day and I had my moment of, I got to do a whole lot of things really, really fast and get it done. Mm-hmm. And he just looked at me and he goes, just remember, slow is smooth and smooth is sexy. and that has lived in my mind forever. And that's one of the things that I teach my new ones is remember that slow is smooth and smooth is sexy.
Oh, that's so much better than slow is smooth and smooth is fast.
Yeah. Yeah. Slow is smooth and smooth is sexy.
That's great. That's good. I'm stealing that. Like 100%.
Absolutely. 100%.
We'll make it a t-shirt.
I like it. We just won't tell him. He'll want royalties.
Yeah. Well, we acquired it,
there you go. There you go.
It's medicine, right? We borrowed it. We'll give credit.
Yeah. Yeah. We borrowed it.
So at what point, so you grew up in West Virginia, you became an EMT due to Pat, progressed to paramedic. What was the thing that made you kind of push to say, okay, let me go to medic school. Let's put the time in and kind of get to that point.
That was with the people that I worked with, Pat included. They always kind of like we talked about, you push to make yourself better. Mm-hmm. You want your people to become better providers. And Pat did that with me. And then I had an amazing partner. His name was Joe. He was my medic for the longest time when I was as an EMT until I decided to go to medic school. And I changed my shifts, and, you know, things change. We obviously do that. But Joe always would push me and like make me critically think as we're having patients, as long as the time, you know, warranted and it wasn't super critical at the time, you know. Hey, what do you think's going on? What are you seeing? What's the next step? So Joe kind of led that through too. And then I went with another partner. Her name was Courtney, and Courtney was, I love Courtney to death. She's one of my best friends from home, and she did the same thing. And then she was with me when I graduated medic school and became a medic until I got my own medic truck. So we kind of run dual medic for a little while.
Mm-hmm.
And Courtney did the same thing with me. Like, I'm fresh, I'm new. The ink is still dry on that paramedic certification, you know, and she would still kind of like stand in the corner and watch me kind of eyeball, and you get that little I'm being judged kind of thing. But she pushed me to be a better provider. And like, after we get done, hey, this is why, this is what happened, this is that. And it, by those tracks of just those little people, not little people, but little people to me anyway, those people that gave me those little like pushes and those little nudges like we talked about, that's what really struck me up and going of wanting to go.
Yeah. That's cool. Yeah.
And
like finding the people in your life and in your career that, it's funny to say this, but give you just enough leeway, just enough to kind of make mistakes and trust that you aren't going to make huge mistakes. That's one of the hardest parts about like learning and teaching and mentoring. It's like, you know, and then you see those people and you go, well, they're this, right? Like they're a paramedic. It's almost like you can't help but go, oh, these people are helping me so much and they're helping me learn. I kind of want to do that, right? Like I'm seeing that a bunch now. Like, yeah, I left Indianapolis, going, oh man, I'm gonna have to figure out how to fit paramedic school into my life. Like at some point, like it's not a question of if, it's a question of when. And you know, obviously, I gotta finish EMT school first, and I gotta get some experience under the belt, and I wouldn't want to go through a progression without getting some time, you know, it's time in the seat, if you will. But I know it's something I want to achieve because I've met all these great people that are like rooting me on. They're like, hey, you know, you're doing great stuff, and like we're happy to see you becoming an EMT. And I'm like, I kind of want to be like all these people now too. Like you kind of feel like a little kid looking up to everybody. I'm like, I'm older than some of these people, but I'm looking up to them going, I want to achieve that. Like, I want to be able to be a really good provider and a mentor and a guide for all these other people. Cause I'm just a big fan of the EMS world in general. I think I resonate well with it. And I've always had a love for the kind of like first aid stuff. And we need more. Like honestly, like as a society and as an industry, we're always desperate for more people to come into this that have a passion for it. So it's a good system. I think it works well. We need to get more people.
Oh, absolutely, we do. But it's going to take that push of, you're going to be good at this. Try it out. See if you like it.
Yeah.
Kind of put that little bug in the ear and make it work.
And they give you just enough room to kind of go play with it. See what, you got it. You managed to figure it out. Now you need to keep pushing. And it's like, oh, you got me.
Yep. Yeah, exactly. And I do that with my students actually is just enough. Let's see what you can do. Let's see what you can do.
You got to be able to fail small, right? Like,
oh, absolutely.
Yeah. And then
absolutely. My biggest thing is if you fail with me, we can fix that.
Yes.
If you fail by yourself, you have no backup. So then what happens? How are you going to help fix that? Because you don't know what you failed on to fix.
Exactly. Yeah. And we're like, partners are a big thing. Like you just mentioned 2 of your partners that will always kind of live with, like, I love the idea of having these people that you're so connected to. And it's like, hey, you got my back, I got yours. Like it's a great system. And it's another one that drives us. Cause like everybody wants to like live up to their partner's expectations, especially if you have that really tight bond, right?
Oh yeah. When I started to go to medic school when I was with Joe, we got to the point at the end of like my little, I guess, career with Joe.
Yeah.
We wouldn't even speak to each other because we knew the next step of each other.
Sure.
And it would just be done. I knew this patient was getting a 12 lead. I would already have it started before he even had a word out. You're going to start an IV. Here's your lock set. Here's your IV. Looks like probably an 18 gauge. Here you go. It would all be out and ready. And he would do the same thing to me. If he knew it was going to be a BLS run, he would already have the monitor put. You know, everything would already be done.
Yeah.
We didn't even speak. We just looked at each other. And you know that that's a real connection with your partner.
It's magic.
And that means a lot.
Yeah. It's it's guys like you or like partnerships like that make me feel like a total dunce when I'm on my ride-alongs. I'm like, I need to get there. Like that, those are the things that push me. I'm like, I need to get more proficient at this so I can know the things and the rhythm and like how all this stuff works to be a good partner.
Yeah.
Like that, those are the things that drive me. But, so you had these amazing partners, amazing experiences, like people pushing you, you became a paramedic in West Virginia. The big question I have for you is at what point, what made you go across state lines? All the, like, you know, you've now found a new home in Indianapolis, right?
Yeah.
So
yeah, we have found a new home.
What's the story? Like, how did you wind up getting there?
It was the most random thing in the entire world, Mike. Literally the most random thing. My now wife at the time, she was not. And we drove to Indianapolis. I have a friend that lives here. The only person in this entire city I know that I went to college with. Drove out to meet him. It was in 2020, so still COVID times. And drove out, stayed in the north part of the city, and met Matt and went to lunch and went to dinner and like hung out with him for a little bit. And then we just drove around and we found Cheesecake Factory on the north side, which you can never go wrong with cheesecake.
No, it's actually, there's a rule about it that you can't go wrong.
Yeah, you can't go wrong. And we're sitting there. This is October, about the 1st of October of 2020. And we're sitting there eating. And Jamie just looks at me and she goes, "This feels like home. I'm happy." I said, "Okay, what do you mean this feels like home?" And she said, "This feels like home. This is where I belong." And I said, "I agree with that." So we went home, did a lot of research, did some digging, and found out the agencies that were here and called, got some salary information because, you know, that stuff matters.
Oh, for sure. Especially in EMS where it's like, hey, we kind of want to like eat more than ramen you know, on a regular basis.
So we found out salary information. I found out, you know, cost of living. How much does it cost to, you know, register your car? How much is your gas, your heat, your electric, like all of that kind of stuff. And we found out that as a medic, I will make more and pay out less than what I was currently doing at home in West Virginia.
No kidding.
So it was a surprise. Like, I'm going to make a lot more money and not pay out more in taxes or to live. I can actually eat filet mignon every once in a while. Holy crap, what is this? So, you know, that process started, and then we interviewed, or I didn't interview immediately. Like, I called and got some information. They said, "Yeah, we're going to put out an academy or whatever, and you'll see the applications pop up. Here's where you look." So we're talking to our parents and, you know, letting them know, hey, this is something we're really looking at, really considering. And you know how parents are.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, you know.
How many hours are you going to move away? What?
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. So
how am I going to see you?
We did all that.
Are you coming home for Christmas?
Exactly.
Yeah. My mom lives in North Carolina, so there's a 10-hour difference in drive time. So I know exactly all the things that happen with having parents across state lines.
Yeah. So we did all that. We did all of our research. We interviewed in, I believe it was the end of November, middle of November. We interviewed first time. did a second interview, got our letter in December. Somewhere around the 1st of December, we did all of the stuff. We came back into town. We drove back and forth multiple times to do all of this. And sometime in December, we, after that, we were on our way home and we still didn't have a place to live. The rental properties in the city go so fast. It's insane. They'll populate for 48 hours max. So it was really hard for us to find a place to live. So I emailed them and I was like, hey, listen, we're going to have to push this back a little bit. We got to find a house. We got to find a place to live. And I got a call immediately back from the person that was there that time and said, I know where there's some houses. We'll find you something. We really don't want to lose you, because they were afraid that I would go back home and not come back.
Yeah. Like, it's too hard to move. It's a great opportunity, but I can't
Right.
make the commitment.
Yeah.
I got you.
So we did some virtual tours with them, and I found out we signed the lease agreement for our house. It was on a Friday. No, it was on a Wednesday. We signed the lease agreement for our house on a Wednesday. We packed up on a Friday, moved on a Saturday, unpacked on a Sunday, and started on Monday.
Wow. So, and that was within, so it was October
3 months
to December, finding an apartment, getting multiple interviews, getting in, moving, and then the following Monday.
So our first day was the second week of January. So we had a little bit of time. We didn't do anything for that. We stayed at home for the holidays, but after that is when we go, oh crap, we got to do this.
Yeah.
Let's get stuff together. And it was really fast. And it was probably the scariest experience I've ever had in my life.
Wow.
I'm moving 6 hours away from home with, at the time, she was my girlfriend. She wasn't even my fiance. We were together for 3 years.
Well, that's kind of understood at that point. Yeah.
Yeah, that was a little understandable.
Yeah. Like, okay, we're moving together.
I'm not going anywhere now.
Yeah. We're pretty much
You're stuck with me.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it was, and leaving family behind and leaving all of our friends that we had made behind, essentially.
Yeah.
I'm 38. When we moved, I was 33. So been in that city since I was 20. So 13 years of friends and friendships that I had made, and however many she had made over her time. And we left all of that behind.
That's incredible. Like, based off of, so we didn't get a chance to talk about this when I was out there. So hearing this story, I like, it's almost like a storybook type of thing. Like, we feel like it's home, right? Like that feeling, you couldn't articulate it at the time. In the 5 years that it's been, have you been able to, like, have you figured out how to define that feeling, like what it was about Indianapolis that might have called you, or that you just felt like it was home?
No, there's nothing that can articulate that feeling.
Yeah. I mean,
there really truly isn't. But over the course of these 5 years that we've been here now, we have our family here now.
Yes.
Like not our blood family. We have our friends that what we call our family.
Yeah.
And one of the biggest things that like shows that not only an EMS community, but just people in general. Yeah. Most of our people are EMS. Most of our friends are EMS. And then there's the sides that are not, that are those, those firefighters that we don't talk about, those police officers that we don't talk about, or those dispatchers. But, we, before we moved, one of the things that Jamie always liked to do was a Friendsgiving. So we did it between Thanksgiving and Christmas, and we did it with all of her friends and my friends. And we did it at our tiny little house that we had in West Virginia that was maybe the size of 2 rooms in our house we have now.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's super tiny.
Yeah.
And we did that. And then when we come out here, I asked her, I said, do you want to keep that tradition? She said, well, we don't have friends here. And I said, we do. Let's do it. So we started that tradition again. And it's grown to where now there's over 30 people that show up at our house for food.
Oh, that's awesome.
And friendship and family.
Yeah.
So moving from home, West Virginia, to here, now this is just an extension of home. It's not away from home. It's just an extension. It's a long extension cord.
Yeah.
From both places is what it is now. And And we've worked out a schedule with both of our personal families of like who comes in for Christmas and Thanksgiving and how do we work all of that? We figured all of that out.
Yeah.
So it's still home in both places, but now it's a much larger home.
Yeah. Yeah. You grew it. Like you built it. Like not just,
Oh, yeah.
not the physical space, but somewhat the physical space too, like inside your home. But like you took some of what you had felt at home and you got to bring that to where I resonate with that. Cause I also made a move in 2020, to, from New Jersey to Pennsylvania, not nearly as far of a drive, but
A better choice.
yeah, it was because I had some friends and we were moving away from family, the kind of home base of where we grew up, but closer to the people that we had started meeting over years and kind of like connecting with. And then when we got here, it was, we got to build our own community too, build up more people. Like we have our daughter's in Cub Scouts. So we got to we really kind of built a community and a lot of friends around this idea of like these families that are all in Cub Scouts together.
Right.
So it's like, you don't leave stuff behind that stays, but you have opportunities to kind of build new and like make new connections. And I think that's the leap you guys made together. I'm just like, that is such a cool story that you're like both at the same time. They're like, okay, this feels like a new home. Like this is kind of the place to be. Right.
And at the time she was an EMT as well. So we both worked for the same agency and she keeps saying that she was the consolation prize, that they needed paramedics, but they knew that they wouldn't get me without her. So she's just the consolation prize that come with me.
I didn't know that you both went to so you both interviewed as like, as part of the process, right? Like you were both, you both got jobs together at the same agency.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Are you okay?
They did.
Question for you, because this is a bit of a side note. What's the best way to make the marriage or the relationship work? Is it same shift or different shift?
We work same shift because we have dogs and it's easier for us to be at home at the same time and play with them and all of that. But there's some people that say opposite shift works. Yeah. It's truly your personal preference. Ours being on the same shift works really well. We have the same days off. We have date nights. We go out to movies, dinners, whatever we need to do. It just works better for us. And then I'm not having to trade a shift. She's not having to trade a shift or take PTO. And it just works out better for us that way. Yeah. You have like this, because what's hard is when you have somebody that's in the EMS space or in the industry and then somebody, or maybe not even just EMS or like fire, police, like where it's like that weird kind of shift schedule where it's like 12 hours on overnights, like shift work, that type of stuff. And then one person who's like in a 9 to 5. That's rough because you get somebody who's like, oh, I've got 4 days off in a row. And then somebody who's like, well, those aren't aligned with the 2 days off I get for a weekend every week. So like the two. Yeah, no, it works really well for us. Yeah, that's awesome. In that move, so were you guys both working together in West Virginia too? Yeah, same agency. So what was the transition like going from West Virginia working as a paramedic and EMT to Indianapolis? Was it a big shift like workload wise, shift wise? Was there like a difference in kind of lifestyle doing that? Oh yeah, big difference. You go from rural medicine where you do 5 or 6 patients a day to I do 20 now in 12 hours. What do I do with myself? It was a huge system that it was a big shift and you get a huge change in your call types and what you're doing. And it was a shock. It was a culture shock. Mm-hmm. I think the best way to describe it was, let's see, what was it? 6 months of Indianapolis EMS as a whole was equivalent to like 5 years of rural medicine. Wow. Like it was massive difference. Was it is it different types of calls too? Like, so my assumption would be more trauma
where you're seeing like
Oh,
you know,
yeah.
violent interactions. Obviously, big cities come with like, you know, conflict and stuff like that. But or was it just like a ton more medical calls too because there's just more people?
It's a mixture of both.
Okay.
It truly is. Yeah, it's a mixture of both. But those medical ones they are sick too.
Yeah.
Is where you get. It depends on what part of the city you're in. You know big cities. You know Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh's a big city.
Sure.
I've been there multiple times. I know how the city runs too. But you know, you get these little pockets of. You've got the people that don't take care of themselves for their choice because they don't believe it. You've got these pockets of people that don't take care of themselves because of I can't afford it. And then you've got this pocket of people that are millionaires that take care of themselves so well that you never see them unless they're sick.
Like real bad.
Real bad. But then those ones that don't take care of themselves because they can't afford it, they're real bad too. They're real sick too.
Yeah.
But theirs is a lot more sick because they can't take care of themselves. So that medical aspect is a lot bigger than it is here.
Interesting.
And figure all of that out. Yeah.
And then was that the first time, like, were you doing chase vehicles in West Virginia too, or was that a new kind of model for you?
That was a new model for me. I actually started that when the program started. I was on a medic truck in my first year and a half at Indy, and then we created that program. So I was part of the inception of that program.
Oh, okay. Interesting. So when you started, it was more of like what I'm used to out here where it's like, you know, you have ALS trucks, but
Right.
did they have BLS trucks at the time, or was everything basically ALS?
There was a few here and there, but
Okay.
not really what we had now.
Okay. So the idea was bring in an influx, more BLS service, and then have the chase vehicles, like have a strategic use and placement of paramedics to then go rendezvous at high priority calls, right?
Yeah.
Now, do they do that based off of like, I think you mentioned at the beginning, like, is that based off of like areas that you know there will be more incidences or that tend to call more ALS stuff?
There was a whole lot of data points that went behind that we could probably talk for 2-3 hours.
Oh,
on
probably.
to
Yeah.
figure that out. Yeah. There was a lot. And it boiled down to what was the highest percentage of BLS versus ALS and how can we shift this culture
Interesting.
is essentially what it boiled down to.
Do you find that the chase vehicle or you called it fly car, right?
For us, it's a district medic, but it's
medic,
a fly car, chase car. There's so many different terms depending
Gotcha.
on what part of the country you're in.
Now, do you find that that's like in the range of things that you've experienced, do you enjoy that more? Do you find that you're doing more work that uses your time better, or do you miss the kind of like, you know, more traditional model of being on an ALS truck? And you may not have an opinion. I was just like curious.
No, so I have a little bit of both. Actually, some days I wish I had a partner with me because you think back to when I was in EMT and going to medic school, like that partner really was my rock.
Yeah.
And having that person with you. But now being by myself, it has its perks. If it's 2:00 in the morning and I want to go get a coffee or something, I don't have to go, hey, can we go to the gas station? I want a coffee. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I kind of have that perk of I can do what I want when I want. If I want to go to a gas station, I can. If I want to go here, I can. I got that little perk. But then the other bigger side of that, and that's where the educator in me comes out, is I see 6 to 8 different BLS trucks in a shift that I can work with. So I can do that more education side when I do that part.
That's cool. Yeah, like you get more contacts with more like EMTs, right?
Yeah.
In the shift.
Yeah.
So that's, I think that there's a huge value in that for sure.
Oh, absolutely. There's a huge value in that. And what we noticed when like I said, if you would have came to my Friday class, you would have known this, but it's fine.
Man.
I'll forgive you.
Can I come to the next one? Is there going to be a next one?
I applied for it in Orlando, so we'll see. I have to hear back. It'll be a couple months before I know, but you might see my name again. We'll see.
What is the next one in Orlando?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, it's
Yeah, EMS World is in Orlando in September to October next year.
okay. I had the dates on my calendar. I did not see I didn't know where it was going to be.
Yeah, it's in Orlando.
Well, Orlando
So
has
you
nice
may
weather
see my name.
and cheap
It is.
flights.
Mm-hmm.
Would you go even if you're not speaking?
Oh, absolutely.
Okay. Well, then we're going to link up because I'm absolutely going again. Yeah.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I'm going to be there no matter what.
I had so much fun.
Oh, yeah. It's a great thing. I loved it. This was my third year going to the conference. So and being a part of it even made it better. But off traffic.
Yeah.
So,
We don't have a track. It's kind of a, it's whatever we want it to be.
Yeah, but you'll figure this out too. Most of us EMS people, we have ADHD, and then when we get squirreled away, then it's like, oh crap, where was I 5 minutes ago? Anyway,
Oh, I'm with you. That's why I have notes and like I need to.
Yeah.
That's my grounding, my anchor, right? Like I pull myself back to that so that I don't talk about like any random topic for 45 minutes.
yeah. So I don't remember where we were.
Like fly cars and
yeah. So what we noticed, and part of the data proves it, is those BLS trucks that we work with on a regular basis, they end up going to medic school and becoming a successful medic down the road because they had someone there to help them, but they also had that. They got more confident in their BLS skills, because what happens if I can't make it there and it's something critical?
right.
What are you going to do? Are you going to sit there and twiddle your thumbs, or are you going to actually go to get that person definitive care and use what skills you can?
Right.
That's the big thing. And we made them more autonomous and more confident, not cocky, confident.
Right.
And they knew that they needed to do something and needed to do something fast. I'm still 5 minutes, 10 minutes away. You're 3 minutes from a hospital. Bye.
Yeah. Get after it.
That,
Hit the gas.
yeah.
Yeah.
And that made them more confident of using those skills. And then we see them, I want to be a medic now. I'm going to go to medic school. So we see that. And it was at least 4 to 5 a year that we saw shift from a BLS truck to go to paramedic school and become successful paramedics. They would learn very fast, and well, not very fast, but they would learn because they already had that basis. So at that point, it was just expanding a little bit more. And most of them would have first pass tries.
That's awesome.
Pass on the first try of their NREMT medic. And that a little pat on the back for us as those chase cars, those district medics, but we work so hard with these people to make them better providers. Everything ties back to what we started in the beginning.
Yeah.
You've got that person that you take under your wing, and that's what we did. And that's what we still do. We want them to be better. And we see that. We see the success.
Yeah. No, that's I think it's a super interesting model. And just to hear the different ways that EMS services work across the country in different environments, different cities, different rural versus urban versus suburban versus super remote,
Wilderness.
Yeah, the wilderness, like the National Park Service, they have their own way of running EMS calls versus everywhere else. And it's even from similarly sized cities, like to one another, they may have a completely different way of working, but it's usually for a very specific reason. And we've found, based off of data and practice and the way our culture is run within our department and the way our training is set up, all works for something. And it's to say that there isn't one way for everything to work. It's not like some mold that they can just force stuff out of, right?
Yeah. And I'm gonna trek back to that workshop that you were in with me. You remember Kip as well.
Yep.
One of the instructors. And I take this now because of him, is we're going to show you a way, not the way.
Yes.
And even though I taught that class with my team, there was a huge team, that.
Oh yeah. It was an ensemble of people there.
Yeah. Yeah. We each took something from each other to learn from. And and I would go in and talk to the people after the class and talk to you and anybody else that was in there. And they told me, we do this here, we do this here, we do this there. You know, you take that stuff back, and just because this is how I do it here doesn't mean that's how you're going to do it there.
Mm-hmm.
You're going to teach me something and I'm going to teach you something. And we have to do that.
Yeah.
We have to know that.
Yeah. There's so much to learn from all the different people within this. Like, and you had different people from different, like different services, different parts of the state. You had mentioned too, that there were even national resources, right? Like different departments and agencies.
Yeah. We had governmental agencies there.
Yeah.
We had county, we had a next county over, government, fire, EMS, police. And it was a huge group of us that did it.
Yeah.
And that's a big thing, is networking too. You know, we try to learn from everybody that we can. And by getting that little networking start, you can advance yourself further down the road.
Yeah.
You know, just like now. Yeah, I'm on this podcast with you, and because you buttered me up and, you know, told me you'd buy me a shirt. But
hey, you just got to get me your size.
Still,
might even send you a hat too, you know.
I like it even better now. But you know, you and I have talked offline a few times of, hey, listen, if you need something, man, give me a call.
Yep.
And that is EMS as a whole.
Yep.
As a whole. I saw Kip today. He stopped by because I still had some of his stuff from that conference workshop, and I had to get it back to him. So, but I talked to him, I talked to Pat, like we talk all the time.
Yeah.
Because we want to do things together and be better. And
not just the, you know, the agencies, like the providers themselves, the different agencies that those providers work for, but also like the industry as a whole. What I'm starting to find too is that there's a lot of collaboration and willingness to kind of help in even the product side of it too. Like we had, was it Sam Medical and Angel Armor and what was
North American Rescue?
North American Rescue, and what was the Moulage?
Techline Trauma.
Techline Trauma. Like these companies all came together along with providers to say, hey, this is important stuff. Like we gotta get this information out there. And I just left that day like so impressed at like all the different pieces that came together. Right? Like so many different people, a lot of coordination. I've been, you know, on the ancillary of like large events like that before. So I had a very large appreciation for what you and the rest of the team were doing that day. So you guys did such an awesome job. Like it was super smooth. Yeah. It was a really kind of just rewarding experience to be a part of, to see all these different, I hit my own microphone, all these different like perspectives in EMS, kind of teaching and sharing their experiences and best practices, even across like we had multiple conversations of like different ways that different departments treat trauma, or not trauma, triage, right? Like
triage,
the 10-second triage versus the
assault,
right?
Else.
And so I had a bunch of things to start learning about that day, because I'd only been exposed to one or two ways of doing stuff, and then I learned more like other ways. I'm like, this is great. And then you can kind of take all that stuff and start building your own kind of toolbox out of it, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And that's what we do. I do that all the time. I still learn every day. I learn something new that I didn't know. Absolutely. And it's not just the science-based medicine part of it. It's I learned a different way to innovate because I saw somebody do it and I tried it, and it makes it easier for me than my other way.
Sure.
Things like that. We still take that. We still learn every day. And I know that like we kind of had an idea of how we were going to do this. I don't really care. Let's go into that sim real quick, if you're good with that.
Yeah, sure.
That CCTA. Yeah. Because that was the highlight of my life. Truthfully, it was.
Oh, really? I'm so glad to hear that.
Yeah. So I had never been exposed to any of this kind of stuff before. Even here, we have MCIs, and it's fine.
Sure.
It's usually 5-6 patients, but we mark them as an MCI. But something of that nature, I've never read the NFPA 3000. I've
Mhm.
never planned anything. I've never created anything like this. And to be able to create and mold something that turned out so well, in my opinion. And I think everybody else had the same opinion. From what I've heard, it seems to be a great thing, but that's the highlight of my career right now. I'm still living that high, man. Like it's been great. It's
I'm
been
glad
so
to
great.
I'm so happy to hear that, because I'm like, he should be. Like I've been telling people about it here. Like, I got to go to this awesome event and I got to meet this guy Steve, and like he was very humble about it, but man, that guy really pulled together, like seemed to be like a linchpin for this whole thing coming together. And like it was
That
great.
actually wasn't even the only thing I did.
Yeah.
So there was a whole lot more behind the scenes for this conference that I worked on, both at night and during the day, and things like that. But this was beyond my wildest dreams. Like I never made anything like this.
Mhm.
And to be told, hey, this is your baby, do what you want and make it successful, which that little part kind of gave me the whole, ugh,
Yeah.
this is a butthole pucker moment. Like, I got to make this successful. How do I do this? But bringing in Pat and bringing in Kip and Shane and Dr. Liao and everybody, I could probably send you a list of about 50 different people / vendors or agencies or somebody that supported this entire process. And I probably still miss somebody.
Yeah. It's hard to mention everybody when there's so many great people putting in a lot of great effort.
Absolutely. And it started out as all right, I've got this basis. They want a CCTA. What do I do?
Yeah.
How do I do it?
Just a big old white canvas. Like you got nothing to plan on.
Yeah.
Like, just
nothing whatsoever. So it's like, all right, so we need all right, it's an MCI. We know that. Okay, cool. We need to have at least two different aspects of it, two different ways of injuring patients to create this MCI. Okay, we can do car into a building, a bomb, a shooter. Timmy fell down the well. I don't know. Like we've got so many different things that we can use.
Timmy found out the well.
Yeah. And then you get the fire department down the well and they're all trapped. It's whatever.
Yeah.
We can make something out of it. We can do it.
Yep.
So it's like you got all of these little parts, and then it's like, what would be even cooler is if we had like a mini hospital set up.
Yep.
Let's do that. How do we make this work? All right. Okay, so we're going to do this. We're going to add that little in there. Well, we need a command center. Okay, so here's who I call to do that. Well, we need products. So here's who I call to do that. We need police involved because they're part of this too. So how do I get them involved?
Yeah.
Okay, here's how we do that. I need fire involved. Okay, this is who I call for that. And just getting everybody, and I just whack my own mic too, getting everybody together in the same room and to make this happen, and just standing back and watching it. Like, I didn't have a whole lot of speech in the morning session, right?
Mhm.
You know that.
Yep.
Going back and forth and trying to make sure this stuff's set up and that stuff's set up, but whatever. But just sitting in the back and like watching, and you could see the light bulbs click on. And then going in hands on when we went to the station and did it over there with police.
Mm-hmm.
And just seeing the hands on and the light bulbs of, this is so cool. This is the greatest thing ever. Like that, still humble about it, but like that to me is the highlight of my career so far. And I don't know if anything can top that.
Well,
I really don't.
I mean, so far is the key word. Cause like it's like, well, what have you had any ideas since this year of like, well, if we did this, we could do this the next time. Like, have you had those little bits of like, what if we did this?
Yeah. Pat and I and Kip and I have already started talking about that. Like, if we could do this again, what would it look like? Like, we realized that, we could have tied this down a little bit, taken that down. We can add more into this. We've already started that little the wheels are turning in there
Yeah.
for that. And we've talked about it, and we've talked about taking that morning session, not the afternoon, because the afternoon is other agencies. They can do that kind of stuff. But
Sure.
can we take that morning session and turn it into something and present it at Orlando as well?
Yeah.
You know, what can we do? Can we make this work? Can we do this? Is it something that we have to have that hands-on with? So we've started talking about that too. And we're going to try it. I think
Yeah.
we're going to give it a shot. My whole life has always been, what's the worst someone's going to tell me? No.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Okay, whatever. I'll go somewhere else and do something different.
'Cause
Or
even if
I'll try again.
even if things don't go perfect, there's still learning to be had, right?
Oh, absolutely.
And
Absolutely.
I think the thing that was really interesting about that particular event is the fact that you guys brought in all these different agencies, right? And there was coordination between them. How often are we seeing coordination across, fire, EMS, police, across different county resources, and you're in a bigger city. Like, I'm sure I'm not, I'm new to this world, but I would imagine it is few and far between when you have these type of multidisciplinary training events where you have not only, okay, the EMS people are going to work on like triage and, primary assessment in an MCI. Okay, that happens. But how often is that being coordinated with an entire team of rapid response, terrorist incident police force, right? How often are those two teams actually getting the opportunity to train in the same space and coordinate with each other so that they actually know what it's like to be part of, I'm trying to remember the term. It was Rescue Task Force, right?
Yeah, Rescue Task Force.
So that was the model that you were using for the day. And, the police have to come in and they have to clear the space. I'm sure they practice that a bunch. But then how often do they get the opportunity to actually bring in a group of, ad hoc EMS providers that are coming in as their teammates on this small team where they have to they have a different role. Now it's not just clearing the space with their police teammates. Now they have to worry about protection of this rescue task force and be a part of this smaller multidisciplinary team. I was like, this is so cool. Like it's a completely different model, something I'd never even heard of. And seeing these different teams work together, these different disciplines and departments, it's like, that is so valuable. And even if they didn't do well, which they did, I'm not saying everybody was performing so well for the day. But even if things didn't, if they crashed and burned, the task was like, this is what we need to accomplish as a multidisciplinary team. If things went bad, the hot wash afterwards is as valuable as it going well. Because you'd be like, hey, this is what we did. This is what we experienced. This is what we planned. This is what we'll plan for next time because we need to adjust, right?
Right. Absolutely. And we train individually as far as the EMS does this and police does this and fire does this. And we train that individually, but very few times, unless you're in a big city like this, do you really get to do the collaboration with everybody at home. Our SWAT medics do the collaboration with the police all the time.
Sure.
Because but a paramedic like me doing that, no, that'll never happen because I'm never going to go into that area or have to worry about that. But being able to is a cool concept to me.
Right. And what have we seen in the real world? Like, you will get better outcomes from MCI type incidences if you do not necessarily follow a rigid protocol of, I'm more familiar usually with the tactical side of things, in response to say an active shooter. The old model is, hey, we're gonna wait for the SWAT team to get here, and then the SWAT team will take care of the problem, right?
Right.
As opposed to a more modern approach where it's like, hey, I'm good. Like whoever's the first person arriving on scene, if they have a partner that comes in with them, great. But if they can't wait for a partner, it's even the lone guy going in to try and affect change on that active shooter is more likely to stop bad things from happening sooner. So the model always changes. and it's going to be different depending on what department and protocols and procedures you have to do, but it changes over time to say what's more effective. And it's not usually, hey, let's wait for this whole team that is only geared for this particular thing to show up. Sometimes it's the guys that are, down the block. It's the paramedics that are on, they were responding to a call across the street when all of a sudden something big happened and they have to then run across the street and start helping people and start triage, right? It doesn't mean it's not you're not designated as the SWAT medic, but it doesn't mean that you may not be somebody who has to help provide care in that type of situation.
Right. Absolutely. And the learning aspect on this, no matter which way it went, the learning was there.
Yeah.
Of some sort. You learned something. And we'll go back to Kip again. This is a way, not the way.
Yep.
And that's the biggest part about this is, not everything is cookie cuttered.
Yeah. It was great. I have a question for you though on that particular event. Like the whole thing, like looking at the whole thing, was there any one particular thing that you found to be the most difficult about it? Like what was the biggest challenge of putting that event together?
Getting everybody in the same room at the same time.
Scheduling?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was because you saw there were so many moving parts and we did a lot of, I would get with this department or this person. The next day I'd have to go with this person or that person. The next day, this person, that person, or I'd be on a WebEx with this person and that person. And it just getting everything together was the biggest challenge.
Mm-hmm. I can imagine so.
And same room.
Multiple times leading up to the event.
Yeah.
How many months?
And actually that was the first time everybody was actually in the same room.
That's how it goes. You're never going to have the full roster, right? Like, and as long as the important person, the one guy that's at everything is the one that then has to relay all the stuff to everybody else.
Yeah. 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 And there was a part, just a funny little tidbit about that. I had to go out and meet somebody during that first run through and bring them up because they got lost. It was one of the people we worked with. They got lost trying to get in there, but it's fine. It's fine. It's this weird building.
It is.
So I turned the corner of one of those little rooms. Like I'm in the back area. Remember where we had like the little gunshot box at?
Oh yeah.
Kind of in the very back. I was around that corner watching our law enforcement partners. And I go to turn the corner around one of those little offices and I am about that far from the muzzle of a rifle.
Yeah.
I may have pooped myself for a minute. And then I go, oh, wait, we're okay.
Yeah.
I gotta go get this guy.
Yeah.
That was the scary moment for a minute.
Yeah. If that's not something you're inoculated to, if you're not used to being in that type of environment a lot, I can absolutely see that being something like the look on the eyes of like even the students that were there as the victims, right? You could see their eyes got wider when all of a sudden the police team came in with, they were cleared and safe rifles, but they came in with an 8-man team. And it's like, they're going to work. And like, everyone was like, oh, like, and for somebody who hasn't necessarily been on that side of a doorway before, when you see a bunch of like 8 dudes coming in with rifles, that could be a little intimidating.
Yeah, I can. Absolutely.
Yeah, 100%. Which is super cool though to see it. And that was interesting too, to see the full breadth of like from initial response to like the idea of clearing the scene and kind of securing a space, setting up a casualty collection area, like holding security on all that stuff. And then providing care and everybody just working in unison. It was, you guys should really be proud. And I think I said this on the AAR too, like all of the people, all like, the leadership team of all the agencies involved should really be proud of what their teams pulled together that day. Like it was something special. Like it really was.
Yeah. I'm really excited to see if we get to do it again. And I would say it'll sell out.
Yeah, 100%.
I would say it would, because we were close, but we didn't sell out this year. But I would say next time it probably will, if they come back and we get to do it again. Maybe we'll see.
I'm 100% sure it would. But okay, so this you said this is the crowning achievement of your career so far, right? So where, like, this is one of the things that I actually took away from EMS World in general, or EMS World Expo in general, was that there are so many possibilities and disciplines and career paths and specializations that you can go into in this EMS side of things. Where does Steve want to go? Like, what is your kind of progression like in this space? Like, what's your passion now?
My passion's always been education of some sort. That's always been. When I first started college, I was going to be a music educator. I played sax, and that was like the dream. And then I kind of shied away from the music education side and went elsewhere, as one does, and through their 17 years of college degree time.
Yeah.
You kind of never know what you're going to do. And then again, I find my way back to the original education side. Yeah. So that's kind of where I'm at now, as I really thoroughly enjoy doing education. And that's kind of like, I think that's where I'm going to end up going a lot more in depth, but I also like doing this kind of stuff too. So, the giant workshop, again, by far the most coolest thing that I've ever done. But how do I translate that into my normal job now? Like, how do I translate that? Can I really educate that in Lindley Medic students? Probably in some aspect, but so it's kind of like, what do I do? How do I incorporate all of this into one? And I don't know where that's going to go.
That's a fair point.
I like doing conferences too. Like, I love going to conferences, and this year was my first year of ever speaking at an international conference. Never done it before in my life. I'm going to puke. I'm scared. What the heck do I do? But we've shook off the cobwebs, and we've gotten rid of all of the nervousness. And now, like, can I do something with this as a medic in a career too? Can I be the Ken Bouvier?
Yeah. Did you know
what
Ken?
I mean? Oh yeah.
Oh
yeah. Ken's a great guy.
God, he was so impressive. Like, I could listen to that guy talk for days.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Ken's a great guy. I met him in New Orleans 3 years ago when I went down there for that conference. I met him then, and we've kind of kept in touch ever since. But can I still be a practicing paramedic and an educator and a speaker and conference workshops, and can I do all of that in one? How do I make this work? And I don't know. I don't know what that looks like. I don't know how that works.
Are there is there like a training division, or because I don't know how big like big system EMS systems or big city EMS systems work. Like, is there usually like a training department or a training division or like people who specialize in progression for EMS providers?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, we have our own education department.
Oh, cool.
Everything's in-house. So I could go that route, but then that would be, hit it again, that could be my full-time, like, I'd be a full-time educator, and then that takes me away from
providing,
being on the street.
Yeah.
So that's why it's like, I don't know where it goes or what happens or how it works. I don't know.
Yeah. Cause like if I had done the old like Johnny Carson thing of like, okay, I'm going to hold an envelope and like write down what I think Steve, like what, like just in the brief conversations that we've had and us getting to kind of know each other over the last few weeks, I would have been like, oh, he is an educator. Like 100% would have been like, oh, he should be devoting and specializing in developing medics, because that's you're good at it, and you could tell you have a passion for it. So
and that's just it, is that I love being a paramedic. I
Yeah.
do, because I love using my brain, for one.
Yeah.
That's always been a thing. I've loved trying to dig deep and like fix complex problems, and hence why for whatever reason, I worked for Radio Shack for a little while. But
When
trying
there
to
was
fix
a
the little
Radio Shack.
electronics and pull those little drawers out, and like, oh, you need this resistor and that resistor and this, like that kind of stuff. Like, you have to use your brain. I love doing that, and being a paramedic makes you do that. You've got so much things you have to do, but I also enjoy the education aspect, and I enjoy the speaking aspect. So I don't know where I go. I don't know where I go and what I do or how that model looks. I have no idea. I can tell you this: I am absolutely scared to death of heights, so you'll probably never see me in a helicopter.
which is like the quintessential answer for almost everybody you ask about progression in this field is like, oh, I'm working towards becoming a flight medic. I'm like, well,
No.
that sounds cool, but like, there's so many options out there.
Yeah, absolutely, there is. And you see a lot of people, again, Bouvier, he's a chief of fire department.
Yes,
and he does
yeah.
all the speaking, and he's a paramedic. Like, he's figured it out.
Yep.
He's also been doing it for how many years now? So he's already figured that out, and he knows what he does.
Yeah.
How do I get to the point of that? I don't know.
Well, I mean, whatever it is, I think you're on your way. Like, I think this certainly is a testament to or the efforts that went into that, the coordination amongst all the people. To me, as an outsider looking at that, going, that speaks volumes about somebody's capability and in communications and leadership and all this other stuff.
Yeah, a lot of our team that's done this stuff with me over the past year, and then we do a couple other, Indianapolis hosts FDIC, so we have a part in that.
Yes,
but
yeah.
My thing is the attention to detail. Like, that's me. I focus on the detail, and I think that's what makes a lot of this so successful, is that attention to detail. You get to people that are the big pictures. Like, I see this being a big, cool thing, but how do we focus that back down?
Mm-hmm. Well,
and that's where I come into play.
I'm making a prediction now, and you have to promise that when, there's Chief Steve from whatever department, that you have to come back on and tell me what it's like being in the top spot. Because, like, I can tell, like, when people, like, when you run into people, like, they have a skill set that helps them lead, right?
Yeah.
That is, it is okay to call that out and tell people, like, hey, you should lean into this. So you should, like, definitely do that.
We'll see what happens next.
Yes.
I got a year to figure it out right now, before the next conference.
Well, there you go. Yeah. Before the next speaking engagement.
Yeah.
But we've been talking a ton about work, right? Like,
yeah.
Okay. Yeah. There's so much to unpack, and I feel like this relationship will probably come back around, and we're going to have some more opportunities to talk about EMS stuff. But, but what do you do on the outside? Like, you're married, right? You said your wife's name's Jamie, right? My wife's name is Jamie as well. Which is totally
probably not spelled the same as mine. Mine decided to spell hers weird. I don't know why her mom did that, but it's okay.
Is it
one? She spells it Jaime.
Okay, I have a Jamie. So
yeah, mine, she flipped the M and the I. So it is what it is.
Yeah. So
everybody spells it wrong. It's fine.
So someday when we're all vacationing together, those things won't get mixed up.
Hopefully not.
No, like, so what do you guys like to do outside of, like, I think one of the biggest things that isn't talked about in EMS is, like, how do you decompress? Like, what is the stuff that you like to do to get away from work?
So I'll tell you, we have a rule in our house. We do not talk shop in home.
Oh, really? Okay.
No matter what.
Because
no matter what,
the backdrop behind you is
yeah,
it talks a lot of EMS.
Well, again, this is her office, not mine. Mine is West Virginia themed with a bunch of books. Anyway, we don't talk shop at home. So we'll talk on the way home. We'll call each other at the end of our shifts on the way home, and we'll talk about, hey, I did this, I had that. But as soon as you open that front door, we're not. There's nothing about it. We don't talk about it.
Yeah.
And that really separates that personal life from that work life.
Oh, that's super helpful.
It really
Yeah.
does. It really does. But being able to talk work to her because we both understand it, I think that makes it easier for us to stop
Yep.
than it does somebody that does not have a fire or EMS provider as their partner. I
Mhm.
think that would be a little more difficult. I don't know. I've never dealt with that, so I have no idea.
Mhm.
But we don't talk at home about it. We have our TV shows that we love to watch, and I record them because we work at night. So obviously I can't watch them when I'm at work, or without her, or that gets me in trouble.
Yeah, you
So-
cannot come home and have an episode finished. Like,
No,
How-
you can't.
how dare you?
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly how that happens. So, and, we do that, but our thing is we go to concerts and shows and events of some sort that's music or plays or Broadway. Like that's what we do.
Yeah.
We find random concerts that we've always wanted to see or we've never seen, and hey, this looks cool. Let's go see them this weekend. Okay, cool. And we do. Most of the time we do anywhere from 15 to 20 different concerts or shows a year.
Oh, great. Yeah.
And that's what we do. We travel to those, and we travel within a 6-hour radius of Indianapolis to do it too.
Yep.
So I'll go to Pittsburgh or Chicago or Nashville. Like that's what we do. And that's been the biggest thing, other than trying to find somebody to watch dogs when we go. But
Yeah.
they're not travels.
Well, dogs are always easier to find someone to watch than kids.
Yeah, true. Even though they're just about like little kids.
Yeah. But at the end of the day, they don't say anything. Kids say stuff.
No. You don't know what mine says. Mine screams. One of them does.
The dogs.
She screams. Yeah, she screams. She's annoying.
Is she a beagle?
But
Like
she's
a hound?
No,
No.
no. So we have a dachshund puppy.
Okay.
She's 7 months old now. So she's found her voice. She found her screaming voice. So it's fine.
Yeah.
But and that's again, that's what we do. That's what we like to do. Or we travel someplace new. Like she had never been to Vegas. So we went the year before EMS World was in Vegas, 2023,
Yep.
2022, somewhere in that range. We flew to Vegas for a week
Yeah.
and spent a week in Vegas.
It can be fun. It's
Yeah.
I've been there a couple of times and it has just so many things to do. Like that you
Absolutely.
are way more than what what I grew up thinking of, like, oh, it's just a spot where you go to buffets and you eat and you gamble. By the way, there's no buffets anymore and the gambling is overrated. But
No, the buffets are still there, and there's one in Caesar's Palace that's really good.
oh, the
We'll talk about that
Bacchanal.
later.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's my favorite.
I haven't been there yet. Let's talk.
Yeah, don't eat for a day before you go in there, otherwise you'll just be full. So like we do that, and this past year, because we got married in August this year, so this past year we didn't do a trip away because we did our honeymoon. So
Sure, yeah.
we went to someplace new. We went to Jamaica for 10 days.
Oh, what part of Jamaica?
We went to Montego Bay.
Okay, awesome. That's where
Yeah.
my wife and I went on our honeymoon as well.
The Sandals.
We went to Sandals in Negril.
We did Sandals, Montego Bay.
Yeah.
And before we left, we booked another trip for 2 years.
Oh,
So whatever.
yeah.
And then like this in 2026, like she's never been to New York City, and I love New York City to visit, not to live, but I love to visit New York City. So
Mhm.
I've been there in the spring, but I've never been there at Christmas time. So we're going to plan a trip to go for Christmas and watch the Rockefeller tree lighting and things like that.
Well, when
So-
you go, you got a friend nearby. I don't live, super close to New York anymore, but I used to work in New York like every day. So,
yeah,
if you
I've
need a
got
guide,
couple friends that live right
Okay.
outside.
yeah, I'd be more than happy to help show you guys around New York City.
Oh, I love the city. I've been there 7, 8
Oh, okay.
times.
Gotcha.
I have no idea. I used to go multiple times a year,
Yeah.
but I just never done it during Christmas. So that's like
Yeah.
one of those. I really want to do it for Christmas one year,
Mm-hmm.
not New Year's. There's way too many people for New Year's, but
Oh no.
Yeah, so-
Dude, no,
Yeah,
thank you.
no.
I do not
You'll
want to
never
be in
find
that
me there.
crowd.
yeah. So that's kind of what we do when we're not at work. is,
What's
like, find cool stuff to do.
what's your what's the musical artist that you've seen the most?
That I've seen the most,
Or-
or both of us have seen the most, because there's a big difference.
Oh, okay. Well, what about the combined Steve and Jamie Like, what is the musical taste that you guys go see together?
Mostly country.
Mostly country. Okay.
Yeah.
And then what
Yeah,
about
mostly country.
what about you?
I'm always a country fan.
Okay.
I'm from West Virginia. What do you expect?
I know. I mean, I didn't
We
want to.
got banjos
Mhm.
and it's fine.
There's like a steel guitar and a banjo.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like
Yeah.
a jug. Hoo, hoo, hoo.
Yeah, pretty much. So like that's always been mine. And again, kind of trekking back to my previous life is like I did a lot of event staff for concerts and things like
Okay.
that. So I did a lot of shows with Brad Paisley and Brad Paisley's from West Virginia. So
Yeah.
not far from where I lived. And I know that his neighbors are really good friends of mine. So like that became a little like integration type thing. But
Yeah.
anyway, we'll scroll away back from that. But like, I like a lot of old school music. I'm old. She's younger. She's 10 years younger than me. So she's Taylor Swift, but whatever.
Hey, there's nothing wrong with
You
some
get me.
Tay-Tay, you know?
I'm not saying there's anything wrong with Tay-Tay, but when you do Tay-Tay every day for 2 years leading up to the Eras tour, I can say that I'm happy that it's over.
Yep.
And like, I like Broadway shows. I've always been a Broadway because I did music.
Oh, what's your
junior
favorite?
high and I played saxophone through my middle school and high school and part of my college career.
Okay.
Actually, most of my college career.
Sax.
So I like Broadway.
Yeah.
And seeing Broadway shows in New York is one of my favorite things too. Like,
What's your favorite
you
show?
go on Broadway. My favorite, Beauty and the Beast. By
Okay.
far. By far, Beauty and the Beast.
Nice.
And then my second favorite is one that is not there anymore, and I'm very sad. It was Avenue Q. If
Okay.
you never saw that one.
I've heard the music from Avenue Q.
Yeah, that one's one of my favorites. Hers is Hamilton.
I love Hamilton.
Broadway and tour is actually here next month, and we're going to go to that.
Oh,
we did
nice.
Wicked when it was on tour here. So I've seen Wicked in New York City. I've seen Beauty and the Beast, Avenue Q, Phantom of the Opera, Chicago, Sister Act. I don't even remember all of them that I've seen. But
That's awesome.
Yeah. So I'm cultured. She's not, but it's okay.
I'm a big Rent fan. Like that's
I saw Rent too.
I've said, well, so this is not a great testament to my ability to go to multiple different things. I've seen 3 shows on Broadway, and one of them I saw 4 times. I saw Rent like 4 times, and then I saw it in the theaters when they did the recording release, and then I saw it in when they did the traveling tour in New Jersey Performing Arts Center, and then I saw it in New Brunswick so I've seen it like 6 times live. But my wife and I were both big Rent fans, so much so that I proposed when we went and saw it at Rent together. So like we're
even better.
Yeah, it's like a big like that's our thing. So like we would go see Rent a lot and whenever we could. But no, I'm a big fan. I love the Broadway stuff. It's funny because it's just like I love hearing how people let loose, right? How they enjoy their time outside of work, even though I think that more so than any other industry that I have found so far, people seem to like truly love this stuff. Like people love talking about the EMS stuff even outside of work because like people like guys that have been doing this for 30 years, I've met them and they just get so excited and pumped up of talking to somebody that's coming into the EMS space.
Yeah.
You don't get that from like advertising. Like I've been in advertising a long time.
No.
There is not a single creative director that's like super pumped about a junior art director coming into the advertising world. That's like, oh, and you're going to experience this and you're going to see these types of things. And what? No, everybody like the corporate world does not get excited about that type of stuff. But like we've found this thing where it's like, oh, it's a huge passionate side of us. It's so fun. I'm like, I feel like I'm part of the club now, and I'm talking about EMS like I'm in it. And
you're
then
almost there.
Yeah, I'm on the doorstep, right?
You're just there.
Yeah, I'm kind of in it. I don't do things lightly. I've already jumped in head first. So, but like people are so passionate about it. And then like, there's so like, everybody has so many different things outside of that like bring them home. Like they're personal anchors. Like if we're pulling, hearkening back to a concept earlier, those things that ground them and that help them kind of, decompress. Cause it's a stressful job. Like it's probably some of the most stressful stuff I've thought about,
Absolutely it is.
But yeah, so lots to think about, but we're running up on about an hour and a half. I know you have to get ready for work in a bit. We
got about 15 minutes, so let's make it work.
Yeah. So I have one last section for you. Just a little segment here that I kind of wanted to touch with everybody that I talk to, in when we do videos and interviews. It's called 3 with an EMT. Like it's meant for providers that have been out there working, somebody new, somebody who's been in it a million years. Hell, I'd even love to talk to ask these 3 questions to Chief Ken, who's been in this for a million years. It seems like,
right.
Just to get the gamut of experience of people who have, some advice, some things for new EMS providers. Right. So it's 3 with an EMT. Question 1. What called you to EMS? Like, what was the thing that tipped you over? And we talked about Pat earlier, but like, was there something about? Yeah.
I think that was it. Was like Pat got me on a ride along, and then just watching everything unfold. And it was one of those like, this is so cool. I think this is something I want to do. So let's do it. And then it started at that. And now, like we talked about, my career has advanced over the past 10 years now to what it is. But I think that original was I've got to give Pat credit, was you want to do a ride along? Yeah. And then you go and you watch, and he worked nights. So, seeing the red lights and the white lights flash in the dark, like riding lights and sirens. And that was the coolest thing ever. And being able to see him work. Yeah. Like his first thing was, if it's really, really bad, I'm going to kick you out and we'll talk about it later. Cool. That's fine. But he never did. Even I do remember like a couple of them was not necessarily critical, but we go to something. I don't remember the preface of it, but there's a lady sitting on the couch and he's talking to her, and he's just being so comforting with this lady and talking to her about, this is what's going on, or what's going on, however it went. And he just looks at me. He was like, how about you give a blood pressure a try? I don't know how to use this stuff. So he asked the lady, he was like, listen, this guy's doing a ride out. Is it all right if he tries and helps me? And she's like, yeah. So being hands-on, I think that was the other, like, that's really what signed, sealed, delivered. Let's do it.
Mm-hmm. That's awesome. And a testament to the people around us that guide our way. Right.
Yeah, absolutely.
So question 2, what advice would you give to a new EMT student? Like, what one piece of advice, the thing that you've gotten to experience over the past 10 years that you would boil it down and give to somebody?
It's twofold. Really, it's 1,000-fold of different things, but the two main is never stop learning, and never take anyone else for granted when you're doing this job, because we're only there to help you. We're not there to judge you. We're not there to say you're doing a bad job, unless you really are doing something horribly wrong. Then we'll tell you. But don't ever take what we're saying for granted. Always learn from what we're saying. And then we always go back to that rent-free thing. Slow is smooth and smooth is sexy. Just because you think something is, holy crap, I got to get this done now, you're going to make more mistakes by trying to be fast than you are if you just slow it down a little bit. We don't have to have everything 1,000 miles an hour. So slow it down. Slow down, slow is smooth, smooth is sexy, and never, ever take for granted and stop learning.
That's 100% going to be the catchphrase of this episode is slow is smooth, smooth is sexy.
Thanks, Rusty.
And then the last question for you in the 3 with an EMT, is there a call, a particular incident, or a learning experience that you had in your career that had a lesson that you'd like to share, or something that stuck with you from that particular call?
Early in my medic career, yes. And it actually comes when I moved into Indianapolis. I'm a small town, backwoods, rural, barefoot boy. That's the way I grew up, drinking from a water hose, all of that. And then I'm in a 900,000 person city, right?
Mm-hmm.
We all, EMT school and medic school, we talk about trauma and medicine and blah, blah, blah. And I will never forget the first time I ever had a patient with a gunshot. And it was bad. It was bad, bad. And I froze. I froze for probably 30 to 45 seconds before one of the guys in the fire department looked at me and said, "Are you going to do anything or just stand there?" And that was like, oh, crap, you're right.
Mm-hmm.
And then we got to work. Don't be afraid to freeze, because it will happen. But know that you're going to learn from it. And after that, we talked about it with the fire guys, and don't stop learning. Don't take for granted. They're not trying to be mean. He wasn't trying to be mean. He was trying to teach.
Right.
So I learned that, slow, smooth is sexy. Don't forget. Anyway, but that really stood out in my brain of, oh crap, I actually have to do things. I don't remember. I don't know what to do.
Yeah.
For a minute. And that really made me think about it of, I've got to teach my EMTs and my medic students of, don't be afraid to freeze.
Yeah.
You'll learn.
That is the hardest part, is feeling comfortable enough to make that leap, right?
Yeah.
To say, hey, there may be a situation I don't know what to do, but like, I think everything we've talked about in this interview, and the connections you've made, the mentors you've had, the people that guide us along the way, they're the ones that are there. And even if it's simple as like, hey, are you going to do something? Like that is the guidance, right? And I love your point of, it's okay. Like, it's going to happen. Don't shy away from it. Like you gotta embrace it. You gotta be willing to move forward with it.
Yeah.
Love it.
Absolutely.
That's awesome, man. Thank you for doing that, and for taking the time from your busy schedule and just hanging with me for a bit. This has been so much fun to kind of catch up. And
absolutely.
Like, we didn't get to go that deep into a lot of topics when we were out there, or when I was out in Indianapolis. And there's so much learning to be had, but it's such a it's so awesome to get to sit and talk to people that are doing this and living this life, and that are just, the people I've come to look up to in this world. So thank you.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me, my friend. And I'm sure this is not going to be the first. Well, this is the first, sorry. Not the last.
It's not the last, for sure.
Yeah.
But one last thing for you. Is there anything you'd like to plug? Any places you'd like to point people? How can people follow you if you want them following you? Or how do you throw them off your trail if you don't want them following you?
So most of my social media is private. I keep it that way because I've had look me up,
yes.
Ironically.
Yep.
So all of my social media is private. However, you can find me on LinkedIn. I have my LinkedIn. You find me. It's a giant picture of me in my uniform. You can't miss me. So
nice.
You can find that. And then just follow along there. I'm starting to post some stuff a little bit more in depth in LinkedIn than what I used to.
Awesome.
So that's where you'll catch me, and reach out. Anybody can reach out to me at any point in time through there. I'm still getting messages from people from the conference, from Austria and Brazil and Australia. So,
that's wild.
That's the best way to get a hold of me, and let me know if there's anything I can do.
Awesome. Well, thank you, sir. You have inspired me, and I'm sure through us getting to chat, and I'm hoping that people realize that there is some awesome opportunities out there for training and for education, and to hear the story of somebody who's gone from, their hometown to a whole nother. I'm not going to say the progression to the big city, because you found a new home, right? Like you guys found.
Yeah.
You found a new place to set up a life and to embrace it, and to really kind of find your own, and to grow into what you've become in terms of an educator. And I think it's an awesome story, and thank you for sharing with it, sir. Sharing it with us. Yeah.
Absolutely.
But yeah, so I think that's where we'll end this thing. We went about an hour longer than I was I'd promised.
You know what? I told you what time you had till, and I said, well, let's make it worth it. Let's do it all.
Yeah,
and
man.
We did.
So thank you. And thank you, everybody, for listening along. And thanks for taking the ride along with us. And until next time, we'll see you then. This podcast is for educational and storytelling purposes only. It is not medical advice or official EMT training. Always follow your accredited instructors and local protocols.
Heartbeats racing in